Hello, everyone, and welcome to the semifinals of the New Jersey Invitational, hosted by StarCityGames.com, part of the SCG Tour. It's the conclusion of Season 2 of the SCG Tour, brought to you by the wonderful people over at Ultimate Guard. Cedric Phillips, Patrick Sullivan, we are here in the booth with Nick Miller down in the feature match area. He'll be doing a nice little write-up for you if you do want to read what happened during this feature match. As we get ready for the semifinals here between Nelson and Klomparens, it's Death Shadow aggro against Jund. See the two players taking a look at their opening hand. We'll be underway here in just a moment, but it seems like between most of the commentators, Ryan kind of being the outlier, we expect Brad Nelson to win here.
Yep. Again, not a hammer lock by any means. I think the matchup is still relatively close as far as these things go, but I do like Brad's matchup.
Of course, Jund, you'll have plenty of discard for Inquisition of Kozilek, 1 Thoughtseize, 1 Duress here for Klomparens this weekend. Some removal spells and Terminate and Abrupt Decay, 4 Lightning Bolts, of course, and then 4 Liliana the Veil. And the creatures, Tarmogoyf, Dark Confidant, Kalidas, Tassiger, and 3 copies of Scavenging Ooze. Nelson taking a long look at his opening hand. It's something we saw him do earlier in the tournament against Miles Rodriguez, who was playing Burn. This Death Shadow deck is a very powerful one, but it's very difficult to play.
And the mulligans are challenging with this deck, too, because there's so many redraws with Mistress Bauble, Street Wraith, Gitaxian Probe, so often your opening hands are 5 cards and then 2 mysteries.
Well, Brad's going to keep. He's going to play Gitaxian Probe, and we are underway here in game number 1 of our semifinals. You'll see Jadine's hand. She's got a Dark Confidant, Abrupt Decay, a couple of lands there in Raging Ravine and Blackleaf Cliffs. Looks like a couple copies of Inquisition of Kozilek as well. So not a bad starting hand. Mana to play all of the spells. Bloodstained Mire as well. Looks like a Maelstrom Pulse too, which she does have a main deck copy of. And now Nelson will draw a card. Another Probe is going to bring Nelson down to 16. Doesn't need to reveal the hand again. He's already got all the contents. How about 3? Down to 14.
Now we know why the mulligan was so hard. So many redraws.
How about Street Wraith down to 12? How about Street Wraith down to 10? Hey, Wooded Foothills, how are ya?
So, can this deck kill on turn 2? This feels like if it can, we're about to see it.
If it can, it needs to go. If it can, it cannot stay.
So he's playing a turn 1 Death Shadow here, potentially at 7 life.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see where it goes.
Yes, we will. Hey, Become Immense is pretty easy to cast right now. So there's that.
Jadine kind of F6'd over there.
Brad going to play a bobble, take a look at Jadine's top card. Now he's got all the information. The 7 cards in her hand, the top card of her deck. And I'm curious if he's actually going to play a land. There we go in Wooded Foothills, down to 9. We know it's going to be down to 7. No basics here for Nelson. He'll go with maybe Overgrown Tomb.
Well, Overgrown Tomb allows him to cast both Death Shadow and Become Immense. We might come back to this next turn.
And there is Death Shadow. Hey, not a bad first turn.
Okay.
Not a bad first turn. And he gets a draw card from the Mistress Bauble.
Remember the trigger.
Yes, he did.
I would have forgot.
Yeah, I would have forgot.
Too much stuff happened.
Oh, yeah. Windswept Heath was the draw. Perhaps he needed another land. Not too sure. Jadine is going to play a Bloodstained Mire. We'll see what land she wants to go get. It might be a Swamp here. Nelson's hand. 2 Become Immense. Teamer Battle Rage. Wildly Coddle. Okie dokie. There's basic Swamp. Brad Nelson is all in, as they say.
So I think in the absence of this discard spell, we would be looking at turn 2 or very close to it.
Very close. Very, very close. I guess if that's what your turn 1 looks like, yeah, you're not afraid of the Jund matchup.
This is what I mean when I say exploitative of the game engine.
Yes, I get it now. I understand.
Brad is kind of cheating.
Yeah.
it's allowed, but he's cheating.
Yes. Yes, he is.
And I think Jadine's thinking here, do I die if I leave the Teamer Battle Rage? Because if she takes the Wild and the Coddle, she has Abrupt Decay for next turn, and then Brad's hands is just some pump spells.
Well, there's Teamer Battle Rage's selection. Nelson will draw a card. He's going to count the graveyard. That's 1 Become Immense. Can he play 2?
That gets him to 4 cards in the graveyard, and then the Become Immense is a 5th card. I think he can do it. And he goes to 4 here, so that's 9 plus 12 is 21, assuming my math's right. Good to double check here.
Yeah, he's double checking.
So he's got 5 in the graveyard for the first one, plus fetch land goes to the graveyard, plus the first Become Immense is in the graveyard, so that's 5 again. Yeah.
Come on.
And Jadine's opening hand was about perfect. Was it Inquisition, Abrupt Decay, Dark Confidant? And all right, turn 2 kill through an Inquisition.
There's a flag on the play. This is not okay.
All right, well, whatever.
This is not whatever. This is not okay. Here's Become Immense. Remove there. Here's Become Immense. Yeah, this is not okay. You're dead. Yeah, round of applause. Round of applause for Brad Nelson.
Beautiful.
Brad Nelson wins game number 1 here over Jadine Klomparens.
Yep, 0 mana spells and, spells with Delve and things that care about your life total being low. This is exploitative. Jadine over there with lands and creatures and a removal spell she didn't get to cast because it costs 2 mana.
Pretty good hand.
Great hand.
Pretty good hand. Yeah,
Abrupt Decay, Inquisition, Dark Confidant, some lands. It's about how you want to draw it up.
What, you think that you can just keep, you think you can keep Inquisition, Abrupt Decay against me? Is that what you think?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to try again.
Right. You better be on the play if you're keeping hands like that.
I've heard we just sold out of Death Shadow.
Okay.
We don't have any more. Fresh out now. So there's that.
Well, perhaps we have some foreign copies available for another day or so.
Oh, you want to talk about the weekly sale?
We can go ahead and do
just that.
that.
Oh, you want to talk about the weekly sale? Okay, we can talk about the weekly sale with StarCityGames.com. I don't mind that. Maybe there are some alternate language, non-English Death Shadows over there.
Exactly. So every Monday, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, Star City Games comes out with a new sale. Variety of products, individual card, sealed product, supplies, what have you. Sale runs for a week. 11 o'clock Monday, we go again with a new sale. Right now, 10% off all non-English singles. The sale ends again tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So make sure to check it out today if you want to buy something, and check out throughout the week to see the next sale.
That was a silly game. Look, I don't know about you. I love that. I love Modern. I think it's the best. Just seeing things like that take place. Yeah, sure, JD only got to play 1 turn, but maybe I'm just maybe I'm a fun hater. I want to be Brad Nelson there. But if it happened to me, I wouldn't be upset either. Just part of playing Modern. That's all it is. So both players are shuffled up. Jadine would like to play 2 turns.
Yep. I bring this up with Modern all the time. I don't see the point of fighting fair.
No, me either.
In Legacy, there's a lot of 0 mana stuff that you can use to defend yourself that's very powerful. So I can see trying to play a little bit of a fairer game. In Modern, there's a lot of 0 mana stuff you can do, and it's all proactive.
Yeah.
It's all putting cards in your graveyard, drawing cards, killing stuff, putting creatures into play. So I don't see the point of really, why mess around? And I'm usually a play a fair deck sort of person.
Yeah.
That's where I've gravitated towards historically. But Modern, I do not see the point right now.
Yeah, things have changed a little bit for me. I think I'm a big fan of don't play fair either.
Yeah.
Forget all that.
Just look at the stuff you can do for 0 and 1 mana. What's the best of it? Almost universally proactive.
And we can even put in quotes 1 mana when it comes to delve spells.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I know what Become Immense says in the top right-hand corner, but come on. Come on.
If I had to make a prediction on the next Modern banning, it would be Become Immense.
Think that's the one to go?
It's a long-term concern, just because it's powerful and synergistic with a whole bunch of different stuff. And I would also argue it's a short-term concern.
Infect Death Shadow?
Yes.
It does probably affect the way that you have to make cards in the future.
Definitely under 50% that it gets banned on the next set,
Sure.
But if I had to predict what would the next one be, of cards that are currently in print, who knows what comes down the pipeline, next Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time, whatever. But of the current legal cards, I would bet on Become Immense.
Looks like Jadine is headed down to 5 cards already, while Brad will be keeping 6, it appears. It's getting ugly out here in the feature match area.
Although Jadine did come back from a mulligan to 5 yesterday in a very high leverage spot. Mulligan to 5, game 1 against BBD. Tournament life on the line.
Yep.
Lost game 1. Mulligan to 5 again, game 2. Got hit with a turn 2 Transgress the Mind. Won that game somehow.
Yep.
Then won game 3. Won the remainder of her standard rounds to get to this point.
It's possible.
And Nelson's deck is the type of deck that can get shaky 6-card hands that can get blown up by 1 discard or 1 removal spell. Also, it's really important for Jadine to have the right cards in this matchup because, she can die on the second turn.
That's really relevant, yes. Very, 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 very important. Looks like Brad's actually going to go back as well. So both players are going to be starting with relatively small opening hands. Let's talk Brad Nelson, shall we? Let's talk about the 30-year-old who currently resides in Roanoke, Virginia with his 8 open top 8s and 1 open win, 2 invitational top 8s, and 1 win as well. I know we talk about the fact that he was once a scratch golfer. He's a big StarCraft 2 fan, and he was the inaugural Players Champion. But, you know, I think it's a Hall of Famer in the making.
Yes.
Slowly but surely, his accomplishments just continue to rack up, be it on the SCG Tour, be it on the Pro Tour. Wherever he plays Magic, he is very successful. And the one thing that always stands out with him is he doesn't care what deck he plays. He just wants to play whatever is best situated for the metagame. Yeah,
among top players, I've never seen someone this divorced from a particular play style or a particular card.
If a mono-red aggro deck is the best deck to play, he's going to play it.
Yep.
If it's Esper Dragons, he will play it, maybe reluctantly, but he'll play it.
I mean, Bant Humans in Standard.
Yep.
Just thought the time was right. If you ask Brad why he's playing a deck, he will say simply, I think it's the best deck right now. Then he'll tell you why, but that's ultimately what's going on.
It's a Verdant Catacombs here for Nelson. He'll fall down to 17, of course, because that's all his deck can ever do. Stomping Ground. We'll turn the Nikado into a 2-2. Klomparens started off with a Raging Ravine. We'll see what she has for her second turn in just a moment. Assuming Nelson is done with his turn, which he is. Klomparens will draw. Bloodstained Mire means she has access to black mana.
And it looks like she's got a hand to work with here. A third land, a Maelstrom Pulse, and Inquisition.
Death Shadow, Nikado, Street Wraith. That's the hand. Could get a little tricky with the Maelstrom Pulse here, huh?
Perhaps.
Yep.
She has 2 in the main deck.
Yep.
I'm sure Brad is aware of all of the numbers here.
Maelstrom Pulse killing 2 wild Nikados is a nice way to catch up on a mulligan.
Yes.
That's for sure.
And Raging Ravine is part of the leftover, so you have a threat in play.
Mm-hmm.
Although, taking the Death Shadow out of this hand is a little suspicious.
I agree.
I think it will be on Brad's radar here that Jadine could very easily have one of the 2 copies of Maelstrom Pulse.
Nelson gonna play a bauble, take a look at the top card of his deck. He'll be drawing a card at the beginning of Jadine's upkeep.
Does this with a fetch line in hand so he can decide whether or not he wants to keep it or shuffle it away.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he's happy shuffling it away. Bloodstained Mire. We've seen this get Godless Shrine so many times in this situation. That's exactly what it's going to go grab. Nelson down to 14. Street Wraith will cycle. Nelson down to 12. Gotcha.
Ooh. What a draw.
Thoughtseize is a pretty nice draw. Were you trying to set up a Maelstrom Pulse over there? Sorry about that whammy.
Man, that is tough.
Yeah, it really is. Nikado's going to come across for 3-second Nikado, and now if Jadine draws a Maelstrom Pulse, it's a huge beating. Let's see what she does draw. She'll play a land. What do we have here? She's moving pretty quickly. She'll get a basic forest. Had it.
Okay.
Maelstrom Pulse, you're real good. That's all 2.
Yep, that's both of them.
That's both of them. Not a bad draw, JD. Not a bad draw.
Also, mismatched artwork for additional rubbins.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Oh, we're going to play some Magic here, that's for sure. Nelson will draw a card. All right, Steplinks. Ugh, no lands with that one just yet. Klomparens will draw.
Well, now he's sort of drawing to lands and spells at least.
Yep. Verdant Catacombs, the play there for Klomparens. To Nelson we do go. He appears to have a fetch land. Yes, he does. Steplinks in for just 2. He's going to slow play it a little bit here.
Yep. Teamer Battle Rage in hand. Little ways away from being able to do anything with that.
Klomparens going to sacrifice her Verdant Catacombs. She falls down to 12. She'll be likely getting a Ravnica Shock land that on the battlefield tapped, and we'll see what she can draw because she's got some good draws in this spot.
Though, Brad with that Teamer Battle Rage in hand, I believe, is drawing a fetch land away from killing Jadine now.
Mm-hmm.
He can go from 6 to 12.
Can't get a Black Leaf Glitch, can't get a Blood Crypt though. Big draw step here for Klomparens because she has a lot of really good draws. I'm thinking of Liliana of the Veil, for example. 4 of those in the deck. Could be a game winner right now.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning Bolt, not so bad.
Almost any of her removal spells or any of her creatures are good right now.
Yeah, they're not bad. Let's see how she does. Tarmogoyf, an Overgrown Tomb past that turn back. We'll get the sizing on Tarmogoyf right now. That's why both players are taking a look at the graveyards. That's funny because all it takes for Nelson right now is become immense. Game over.
Yep.
Draw a card. Monastery Swift Spear. I wonder how that works its way into the equation. I think you got to play it. Pass that turn back.
Yeah, he's got to just hang back now.
Tarmogoyf currently at 4-5. Klomparens will draw.
Almost all of Jadine's spells at this point are very good.
Yes. She says, you have one card? Ooh. Hello, Raging Ravine. Get in there. Attack you for 4. How do we feel about this attack?
Well, she's got to get the game over with if she missed on her draw. She's got to try to race a little bit. She's threatening lethal next turn, forces some sort of chump block. If she drew a spell, she could play more conservatively, but I think with just lands, she's got to go. She's got to try.
Nelson with a Wild Nacatl. Pass that turn back, trying to find Become Immense. Klomparens is going to draw. Let's see what she finds. Could fire up Raging Ravine again, but it's not a lethal attack, though it would knock Nelson down to 1, which would mean the fetch land's kind of out of play here. Not entirely sure. Now she'll fire up, going to come in here.
And it's a kind of an awkward spot here. I think Brad may need to make a block here to keep the fetch land live.
But with what creature?
I'm guessing the Swift Spear. If this line is... no, if the line's predicated on drawing Become Immense anyway, I guess the Swift Spear is the best of them because it's 3 power on the 2 prowess triggers. I'm guessing it's not Wild Nacatl. Lynx versus Swift Spear feels close to me.
Yeah.
You can also make a move to try to get it off the table, I suppose.
Okay, the double block is certainly in play here. And then he still just loses 1.
Yep.
So that's not so bad. Of course, with a double block here, Nelson says, I'll sacrifice my fetch land before damage, make Step Links into a 2-3. That's 5 total as he falls down 2-5.
Yeah, this block looks great.
Yep.
And still definitely drawing to Become Immense.
Whole time he has been. A lot of redraws, too. Going to go with Blood Crypt, it appears. Yep. Nacatl down. Lynx will be left over along with Swift Spear. 12-5 in favor of Klomparens. Curious what that last card is. She'll just pass the turn back. Nelson will draw. This, we don't have a great look at just yet. Bauble. Want to see what Jadine's going to draw. That card stays. Nelson with Teamer Battle Rage in hand. Again, we know that. I'm not convinced he has any good attacks.
No, an attack does not look good here.
Yeah. Nelson will draw from the baubles. Jadine will draw for the turn. Brad knows what it is. Jadine now knows. We're the only ones that don't. I suppose you at home as well are pretty curious. Jadine's leafing through the graveyard. Perhaps Tassiger has shown up.
Maybe just a quick price check on the Tarmogoyf, too. I suspect 4-5 is not accurate, especially if she's attacking. Should be lethal. There's a bauble in the graveyard. A bunch of creatures have died.
Yep. Lynx down. Bob. Pass. Become Immense? I don't think so.
Look like Wooded Foothills.
Nelson with another Lynx, perhaps?
I mean, every chump blocker is a redraw, but if Klomparens finds a removal spell,
The
house of cards collapses. I don't think Nelson can come back from that.
Discard spell's good, too.
Yep. Almost any spell is very good.
There's Step Links. Here's Wooded Foothills, pass that turn back. Dark Confidant's going to trigger. Take a look at the top card. Scavenging Ooze, that's not so bad either. Klomparens does fall down to 10. I think she may have also picked up a Tarmogoyf.
I think there's still hope for Brad to piece it all together here as long as Klomparens doesn't find a removal spell. It's definitely getting bleak. At a certain point, Klomparens just has so much toughness in play that even Become Immense plus Teamer Battle Rage doesn't get it done.
Okay.
But with Klomparens at 10, I sense that Brad's still got a shot.
Look at these beatdowns. Getting them both in.
Got to force lethal. It trades with something.
Yeah. Nelson will block with a Swift Spear, it looks like. Yep. Gonna fall down to 3. See ya. Lightning Bolt will take care of it. And truthfully, he ain't beating a Lightning Bolt there anyway.
No way.
That's for sure.
Any removal spell would lock it up.
Jadine Klomparens is gonna win this match over Brad Nelson. Excuse me, this game here over Brad Nelson. Jund ties things up with Death Shadow 1-1. And now we get to go to the sideboards, and we are going to start with Brad as he'll be on the play here for game number 3. A Forest Nile Spellbomb, Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Path to Exile, Dismember Ranger of Eos Tarmogoyf, 2 Hooting Mandrills, 2 Inquisition of Kozilek, a Stony Silence, a Pyroclasm, and an Ancient Grudge.
So I imagine this is the type of matchup where Nelson wants to play a little bit of a longer game because there's just so much removal on the other side of the table. So I think the Tarmogoyf, the 2 copies of Hooting Mandrills will come in. You could talk me into the copies of Inquisition, the Ranger of Eos, maybe Dismember, maybe Path to Exile, a little bit of the removal discard. But I think the anti-attrition stuff he has in the sideboard, those creatures for playing a longer game, I think those are very likely to come in.
We go to Jadine. She's got an Ancient Grudge, 2 Anger of the Gods, 3 Fulminator Mage, Grim Lavamancer, Pithing Needle, 2 Kitchen Finks, 2 Nile Spellbomb, 2 Obstinate Baloth, and a very painful Truth.
So the cards I like in this matchup are the 2 copies of Anger of the Gods and the Grim Lavamancer. I think those come in for sure. Then the question that Klomparens has to answer is, are the life gain value creatures like Obstinate Baloth and Kitchen Finks good enough here where they are worth bringing in? If Nelson is all in on the combo and trying to win that way, those creatures don't provide a ton of resistance, but if Nelson has to slow his deck down to beat the removal spells and becomes less of a combo deck, then I think there's room for Kitchen Finks and Obstinate Baloth to really shine.
Well, there are the options there for both players. Brad, well, he played 2 turns in game number 1. He played quite a few more than that for game number 2, and we're all tied up here at 1-1. Well, these players will sideboard. They will shuffle. We'll be underway here for game number 3. Nelson will be on the play. But let's talk about StarCityGames.com Game Night, shall we? The very popular promotion. We have to thank everybody at home and everyone who's played in this very popular promotion. We couldn't do it without you, and we got some cool stuff coming down the old pipeline.
So go.starcitygames.com/game night for more information to find the game night closest to you. Every month we come out with new pins and tokens that we send to the stores that are signed up for game night. The local stores can then run game night however they want, any day of the week, any format. Just get players in the store on a regular basis for some fun and friendly magic. This is the kit you're playing for in August here, Young Burrowmancer. We have a couple more coming down the pipeline here. In September, we have Bone Chewer Giant, and in October, Hedgehogahog. Again, go to StarCityGames.com/game night to find the game night closest to you. Stores, if you are not signed up for game night and would like to, contact your Star City Games in-store play representative.
So I know a lot of people, they like to comment on the old game night things that we do make. A lot of fun. Young Burrowmancer here. We got Bone Chewer Giant next month. We had our hippo thing for like 2 years.
Yes.
So we finally got that. But I got to say, right now, leading the pack for me is Hedgehogahog.
Yes.
That's now, again, I have full disclosure about what's coming soon, but Hedgehogahog, winner.
Right. And we gotta come up with 12 of these a year until the end of time.
That's correct. That's correct.
So we are gonna, all the names that exist, we will use all of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we're always taking suggestions.
Yes. The hippopotamus only came to be by you and I derailing the broadcast for 18 months about it.
That's it. Just only 18 months.
Right.
But eventually, they gave in.
Yeah, you and I, 2 people who are in some of the highest leverage situations to influence company policy, complaining about it on air for nearly 2 years, and then we got the hippo.
That's right.
So it's just a matter of time.
I would say turtle, but we already got one of those. I got to think of another animal here soon.
Yeah. Have you done a porcupine?
I don't think so. I think so.
Maybe a little too close to do after the hedgehog. Maybe we had to space that out a little bit.
Give it some time to breathe.
I had a stuffed porcupine, stuffed animal as a kid that I really liked a lot. Some nostalgia there.
I actually want a real porcupine as an animal.
They seem unfriendly to me.
Well, there's a YouTube video where one does seem very friendly, but it has the person who was petting it was doing it with oven mitts.
Yeah.
Or well, something a lot.
It can only
more.
be so friendly in the context of hanging out and petting.
Yeah.
Even if it's the friendliest animal, like it hops up on your lap or sleeps with you, like that's awful.
Yeah, you know how when you're sleeping and a cat hops into bed with you, and you're like, this is adorable. Not so much with a porcupine.
Right.
This hurts.
Right.
Actually, is what would happen.
They can't help it. It's not.
Yeah. They're trying. They just want to hang out.
It's not the animal's fault. It's just. That's how it is.
Amirsh's Bobble is where Brad's going to start. He's actually going to take a look at his top card, not Jadine's, as it looks like both players did keep 7 cards. Remember, after this match is over, and this one's looking to be a pretty good one here, as we're at the beginning of game number 3, Michael Majors with Obzon going up against Liam Lonergan, who broomed Tom Ross. The old sweeperino. Elves versus Obzon after this one here.
Also, based on what happened in the quarterfinals, worth noting if Brad receives another slow play warning.
Yes. We do have to mention that. Here's a thought seize from Nelson. After bobbling both himself and JD, now he's going to take a look at JD's hand. You'll find a Terminate, a Dark Confidant, a Liliana the Veiled Inquisition, along with a Blood Crypt, a Blackcleave Cliffs, and a Forest. Seriously, I don't know if you could draw it up any better than this.
Another great looking hand. I mean, maybe you would replace, you know, the Dark Confidant with a Lightning Bolt or something, but very hard to complain about this hand. Mixture of discard removal, some proactive cards to play.
Now, in regards to Brad's slow play warnings that have accumulated, they accumulated in the quarterfinals against Mod Rodriguez. Truthfully, in the last turn of the match. But our head judge, Nick Saban, he's enforcing the rules as he should be doing and doing a fantastic job of it. If Brad does get another slow play warning, it is turned into a game loss throughout the rest of the elimination rounds. So he will have to be pretty quick. Now, Nick did come and tell us off air, I'm going to give Brad a poke, so you have to make a play. And if he waits about 2 or 3 more seconds, it will be a slow play warning, which is upgraded to a game loss. So it's something that Brad has to be very cognizant of moving forward throughout this top 8. Terminate might be down. But he actually looks like he might take the discard spell, and he will. So Nelson down to 16. Assuming he does remember, and I guarantee I'd forget 2 bobble triggers. He remembers them both because he's really good at this whole magic thing. We had Jadine's way. She'll play a Blood Crypt tap. She'll simply pass the turn back. We go over to Nelson for his second turn of the game. Hooting Mandrills in hand.
Not surprising to me that he went down this road. Try to be a little bit bigger, a little bit slower. Jadine's mixture of discard and cheap removal spells makes it hard for Brad to be full throttle on the combo, so probably playing a little bit of a longer game. Like I said before, I suspect the Ranger of Eos is part of this package as well.
And hey, 4 toughness is a good place to be.
Yep.
Good old Lightning Bolt out there. Nelson looks like he's going to play Verdant Catacombs. Going to fall down to at least 15, most likely 13. Oh, I love this Death Shadow aggro deck. No room for error. You got to get it all right all the time, but if you do, I think you are going to win a lot.
Yep, I think Brad's quarterfinal match was very instructive. I think most players would not have been able to win that one.
It's a Tarmogoyf. Not sure how long it is for this world, but it is a Tarmogoyf. Jadine with the Blackleaf Cliffs. She will simply pass the turn back. Nelson will now take his turn. Sorcery, land, and artifact in the graveyard. So 3-4 currently. Going to serve across for 3. Will Jadine kill it? Yes, she will. 5 cards in the graveyard now. This is a Windswept Heath. That is a Wild Nicodle. And as Nelson sacrifices the Windswept Heath, we'll see how much he's going to take here.
Yep. Nelson needs to get a second threat onto the battlefield here because he knows Klomparens is going to be ready to go with Liliana the Veil next turn, and he can't simply play 1 threat, have that get swept up, and then have Klomparens start plussing the Liliana.
Well, you wanted Hootie, and you got it. Well, the Mandrills are here, typically found in the old Teamer box by Todd Anderson. But
yes.
Brad Nelson's got a couple copies with him this weekend of the Ape. Gonna delve away some cards in the graveyard. 4-4 Trampler. Trample actually pretty important with this card.
Just another, even the innocuous delve cards still busted. I wonder what the hit rate is if you go back and look at how many of them showed up in constructed. Oddly enough, the one, real payoff Delve card, in quotes, the Necropolis Fiend, barely showed up.
Yeah. Mikado's going to bite the dust from Liliana past that turn back. I'm curious to see if Nelson will ignore Liliana.
Well, he has one turn to do it, but not two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Teamer Battle Rage Become Immense is a kill, so might be able to ignore it.
Sure is. 6 + 4, of course, is 10. Multiply that times 2, that's 20, which Jadine is conveniently at.
I don't know how much of the pump stuff Brad has left in the deck if he's brought in Hooting Mandrills.
That's a question, right?
How much graveyard do you have to work with?
Yeah. Beatdowns. Liliana goes down. Follow-up for Nelson, if there is one. There is not. Past that turn back. Another Liliana could be deadly here. Maelstrom Pulse, Terminate. Plenty of good cards here for Klomparens. On discard spell and Thoughtseize, just okay. Take a look. Become Immense, Mutagenic Growth. Arid Mesa. Yeah, that one's gone. That one can't stay. Raging Ravine. Dark Confidant. Pass the turn back. Nelson will draw. Hooting Mandrills into the red zone. Klomparens down to 14.
And now just, I believe, one removal spell away from really pulling ahead here in game 3.
Jadine will reveal Dark Confidant down to 12. That's not a removal spell. Maybe what she draws for the turn will be.
Although it has to be a pretty particular removal spell. Remember, neither Abrupt Decay nor Lightning Bolt does much work here.
That is correct. Remember, Nelson right now has a copy of Mutagenic Growth in hand in combination with Teamer Battle Rage. We're looking at an attack for 12. It's a double strike, and the thing already tramples, so it has super trample.
A known keyword.
Oh, yeah. Tarmogoyf's here. It's a pretty big one. Dark Confidant as well. And now the first Dark Confidant will attack. Nelson will sacrifice the Arid Mace. He's going to fall down to 8.
And I like Klomparens' move there with an attack, trying to get the game over with, especially facing down her own 2 copies of Dark Confidant. Doesn't want to be sitting back on her heels all day.
I think Jadine's going to very easily be able to present lethal next turn.
Yep.
Tarmogoyf's to 5/6, 2 Dark Confidants, and of course the Raging Ravine among her lands. Looks to be in a pretty favorable position right now. Nelson will draw. He's had some small windows for good top decks to win the game, but I don't know if he's found one here. That's a Step Links. Time for defense.
Yep. Hope that the Dark Confidants can do some work here.
Trigger 1, Tarmogoyf, down to 10. Trigger 2, Blackleaf Cliffs. Draw for the turn. Beatdowns. Raging Ravine gonna hang back. Not that time just yet, it appears. Nelson.
It's interesting. I think Nelson might be in a spot here where he's thinking, if I block and get the Tarmogoyf off the battlefield by using the Mutagenic Growth, can I squeeze 2 turns out of Klomparens having these Dark Confidants in play? And is that a route for her to get killed just by Dark Confidant triggers?
He's got to try, maybe.
Because the most straightforward block here is just, all right, Link's in front of Tarmogoyf, I'll jump, whatever. You could even put Hooting Mandrills in front of one of the Dark Confidants. But Nelson might be in such a big hole at this point that he can't win the game that way.
Sure.
That he's got to, try to get 1 turn at least, possibly 2 turns out of Klomparens having both the Dark Confidants in play to maximize the chances that she just flips over a bunch of big spells and kills herself.
Well, that's why you see him kind of moving the cards back and forth. He's trying to figure out the best way he can go about from stealing this game. I think he needs to have a lot go right.
Yes.
So in a situation like this, I think we might see something where Hooting Mandrills jumps in front of Tarmogoyf, going to cast Mutagenic Growth, make it a 6/6, and hope for the best. Now, Jadine has a lot of cards. The chances of this working seem like they're pretty slim, but you got to give it a shot. Step Link should be dead on Brad's side, I believe.
I don't know if the Step Links was committed to a block.
Aha.
He was fiddling around with it.
He goes down to 3. Yep, took 4, went down to 3. What's the follow-up? Ooh, hello.
Ooh, that's a big one.
That'll change things.
Big play there from Klomparens.
Yep, Obstinate Baloth.
This is one of those games where it's a lot more about the incremental life gain than Brad trying to go from 20 to 0 in one turn. Especially now, getting a little bit of a cushion with these Dark Confidants. Big swing.
Didn't get a great look at what Nelson drew, but it'd have to be one heck of a card to get him out of this spot. Blood Crypt, beatdowns. There's a block, Teamer Battle Rage.
Okay, so this amounts to 6 points of damage coming across.
All right.
Well, there's Kalidas, there's Tassiger.
There's Obstinate Baloth. Ooze brings down to 6.
Tassiger.
Nope. Pulse. All right. Faded it. That's gonna do it. Jadine Klomparens is going to win game number 3 here over Brad Nelson. Jund, Death Shadow Aggro, getting ready for game number 4. Jadine 1 game away.
I think Brad took a great line there. Actually gave himself a shot there to pull that one out. Yep.
That's all you can do. Give yourself the best chance to win. That's all you can do.
And that first reveal of Scavenging Ooze there, I think then there was if the one Tassiger is still in the deck, there was at least a shot.
Yeah, 1 out.
Yep.
That's it. Both players going to go back to the drawing board. Now that you've seen how they've kind of sideboarded, do you think Jadine changes anything? It looks like Brad has more creatures now.
Yeah, the only question mark that I had about this coming in was whether or not she was going to do anything with the Kitchen Finks Obstinate Baloth stuff. They aren't necessarily the best cards if Brad's just trying to go all Teamer Battle Rage, Become Immense, etc. But it looks like Brad's sideboard plan, he still has some of that stuff going on, but I would imagine if he has the Hooting Mandrills in, he's at least de-emphasized a little bit of the pump action. And if that's the case, then I think those life gain creatures from Klomparens become a lot better.
Interesting situation here for Nelson. If you think of the last match, he was down 2-1. Back against the wall. We'll see if he can come back here yet again. Pretty difficult spot, though. The creature setup makes sense, what he's trying to do with Hooting Mandrills and Tarmogoyf and potentially Ranger of Eos. I just don't know if he can win that way.
Well, it's not what the deck is trying to do. I think it's more that he's boxed into a corner here where he feels he doesn't have enough threats to win the game against all of Klomparens' removal and discard. And so it's more of a necessary evil than I'm really excited to bring these cards in for this matchup.
Well, as they shuffle up and get ready here for game number 4, we will talk about the StarCityGames.com newsletter because it is your source for Magic the Gathering news, and best of all, it's free.
All the latest going on at Star City Games, including the latest information about the SCG Tour with a selected SCG Tour match of the week, exclusive deck lists and advice from many of your favorite columnists, all the recent event results, an exclusive cardboard crack comic. Best of all, signing up is free over at go.starcitygames.com/newsletter. Not spammy, comes out once a week.
Once a week, Thursdays.
Right.
Put a lot of hard work into that. It's got good information for you at home. We just want you to know what's going on with the SCG.
At the minimum, I always skim it, and sometimes there's a thing or two that I read. That's very low cost for one a week.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Very happy.
And I do not enjoy most things, and particularly most promotional things, so that is high praise.
I want to confirm I do not enjoy most things.
I've been subscribed to the newsletter now for over a year, however long it's been around for, and I've yet to unsubscribe. Say that in honest. It still comes to my email box once a week.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Really do. If that's not a ringing endorsement, I don't know what is.
That is some high praise.
That's right. Remember, after this, once this match is over, Matthias Hunt and Ryan Overturf, they'll jump in the booth. They'll take care of your other semifinal match between Michael Majors, who is on Obzon, and Leon Lonergan, who is on Elves. Now, in regards to what these players are playing for, we don't want to forget that there's a lot on the line here. We got 4 players left here this weekend. A lot of money on the line, of course. At the very least, walking out here with $2,500. Pretty good place to be. Finalists, $5,000. And the winner, $10,000, 50 SCG points, invite to the Players' Championship, an invite to Pro Tour Kaladesh along with a flight to Honolulu, buys and free entry to the Opens, free entry to the Classics, and their likeness on a card that's going to go out in a bunch of orders. You're going to be everywhere when you win an invitational here with Star City Games, just like Max McVitie did a little bit earlier this year in Columbus. Can't wait to see him at the Players' Championship. As Nelson's going to keep 7. He's got a Godless Shrine off of Windswept Heath. He's at 17, and he's got a Step Links. Klomparens with an Overgrown Tomb. And now it's an Inquisition, and pardon me, Nelson is on 6 cards, as you can see his hand of Death's Shadow, Tarmogoyf, another land, and a Mutagenic Growth.
Well, I would imagine here Klomparens is going to be taking one of the 2 threats out of the hand.
She does have a Lightning Bolt in her hand. Just curious to see what she does want to take here.
Again, it looks like Klomparens got some lands to work with, plus the right colors of mana, plus cheap interaction. Really good setup here.
Classic Jund. There goes Death Shadow. To Nelson we'll go. Fetch land. Tarmogoyf in for 4. See which fetch land he wants to get. Probably Stomping Ground? Yeah. Seen this combination a lot.
Yep.
Green, red, black, white.
Means his Nakatl is covered, he can cast everything.
Yeah.
The setup is a little awkward in terms of assembling Temur Battle Rage plus Become Immense, but since that requires a 3rd land anyway, you can get it covered that way.
Big draw here for Nelson. Klomparens only had a Raging Ravine and a passing the turn.
This is the window. I do not believe there's any interaction right now available to her at instant speed. She can't even cast the Slaughter Pact. She's only got 2 lands, so not even out of the question for Nelson to have the kill right here. But I suspect things start getting pretty bad if he doesn't make a big push this turn.
We'll have to get the sizing on the Tarmogoyf here in just a moment as well. It's a 3/4. There's a fetch land in Verdant Catacombs. So we could be seeing, an attack for 7 this turn. Nelson will sacrifice that Verdant Catacombs. It'll be an Overgrown Tomb tapped. 2 triggers there on the Step Links, makes it a 4/5. Remember, Mutagenic Growth in hand. I think he's going to want to cast it now. Yeah. Just try to get as much damage as you can.
Yeah, it gets an instant in the graveyard. Plus it's 2 points. Shuts off her discard spells from mattering. And now he's just got to hope.
Klomparens at 4. Bolt is going where? Step Links down. Land pass.
Slaughter Pact or bust, I guess.
Yeah, it's got to be Slaughter Pact here. Attack. She actually have it. Well, can he not? I mean, he has to attack, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's just what, if he wants to cycle first or left.
Yeah, sure.
He's approaching the hard cast,
there's Slaughter Pact. He drew Temur Battle Rage.
I mean, if he's got a threat here, he's good.
Yep.
He's got nothing.
He doesn't have a threat. Pay the pact.
That's an important one.
Yes.
It's an important one to pay.
Jadine will draw. All she can do is pass. No land to play. Nelson.
Oh, man.
What was that? 2 Fink? Jeez.
Yep.
Finks, Baloth, Tarmogoyf, Dark Confidant.
It's going to be really hard for Brad to play over the top of this once she gets on tap here, especially if she draws land number 4.
Goodness.
Brad's also at 11, so it does not take long for Klomparens to turn around and kill him.
I think you got to take Finks. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't be Dark Confidant. I mean, you got to.
Maybe a chance of taking Tarmogoyf. I'm not sure. There's Finks. Jadine's up to 6. Nelson needs to draw a creature right now.
Yep.
That's a Bloodstained Mire. That is not a creature. Back over to Jadine. Does she draw land number 4? Doesn't appear to be the case. However, an attack for 3 is very real now. Nelson falls down to 8. The follow-up. Scavenging Ooze might be better than Tarmogoyf.
The door is starting to close here on Brad.
Brad down to 7. Called this tournament a PCQ for him. So this is my chance to get to the Invitational. I got really one shot at it. He's preparing for the World Championships in 2 weeks, and it's been one heck of a run. And that is going to do it. Jadine Klomparens is going to win this match here over Brad Nelson. 3-1. Jund will take care of Death's Shadow aggro. And for Jadine Klomparens, it's one match away from the Players' Championship.